All right. Hello, everyone. This is Peyton, an editor at BSC. I am here with Jay O'Keefe, the author of our upcoming YA fantasy novel, Matson Academy. Jay, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Jay O'Keefe. I've been writing for about 7 years now, and Matson Academy was my first novel. It's the one I've definitely spent the most time on, and I am really excited to share it with everybody.
I'm really excited too. You know this, but our following doesn't. But when I first read your book, I was like so excited and so happy. I was so confused why like the other authors passed over it. I was like, this is great. This is so good. So I was so happy because like it probably had been like a year or so since you like sent it to us. So I was just so glad when you said, yeah, you'd love to go forward with working with us.
That was very validating to hear too, because all the other folks who read it were friends and family, and there's always that, hint of like, well, they have to say that, right? They have to tell me that it's good.
Right.
So when you started quoting it back to me when we first met, I was like, oh my God, somebody else actually did read this and enjoyed it. So that was really a high point for me as well, was that first meeting with you.
I'm so glad. I really hope. I so hope that the book sells well and we can do the sequels. Yes, there are
There are
sequels.
sequels. The second one is already drafted. I'm maybe a quarter of the way through the third. So,
Ooh.
and actually, I was on vacation last week, and while I had my wife hostage in the car, she got stuck helping me fix some plot points for book three and four. So
That's nice. I love that your wife is so supportive and helpful. That's
she's
that's so sweet.
she's been huge. She has definitely she knows the book possibly better than I do. Just through all the back and forth and the spitballing, and if we're going on a hike, I'll be talking through a scene and what does she think? Does she like it? Does it sound right? Does it make sense?
Hmm.
Said long car rides where she's trapped and she has no choice but to listen to me.
Oh, that's really nice. All right. So with Matson Academy, obviously, it's a novel, so it's a little long. I mean, it's a novel. Yeah. But is there any like specific passage that you're like particularly proud of or like it's your favorite? Like this is the one you always go to when you think about Matson Academy?
Hmm. Uh, an absolute favorite. Well,
Okay, well, not
I
absolute,
I have
but
to, if I'm being 110% honest, my absolute favorite passage got cut. Now,
no, it
I
didn't.
will say I saved it and rewrote it into book two, and I actually like it a lot better in book two.
Okay, well, that's good.
So there's that. But excuse me. But if we're another one that I really like is a lot of the passages that deal with the shadow world, which is a
Hmm.
mysterious other dimension or plane that one of the main characters, Connor, goes to at various points throughout.
Hmm.
Um, it was fun to write. I had to look up a lot of different synonyms and other descriptors for the word black because everything there is black. It's the shadow world. It's complete darkness at all times, but that's not fun to really you can't just say, "Oh, it's black. He couldn't see anything." That's
Hmm.
not a fun area. So, should I go ahead and read a section?
Yeah, yes, please do.
Sure. Connor collapsed into his bed, exhausted and giddy with excitement. Yet within minutes, he was sound asleep. He woke up in total blackness. The ground beneath him was rough and cold, and not his bed. He rubbed his eyes, confused as to why he couldn't see anything. Connor stood slowly, turning to look for something, anything. Eventually, his eyes adjusted. It didn't help. Soot black leaves adorned pitch colored twigs that stuck out at all angles from midnight trunks. He stood on soil black as asphalt, weighed down by a starless sky. He took a cautious step. The ground was solid and the air dry, but he felt like he was underwater. Pressure behind his eyes throbbed and his chest tightened. Hello? He called out. It's a dream, right? Ready to wake up. Another comes to us freely. A deep voice echoed from everywhere and nowhere at once. The words pounded in time with the pain in Connor's head. He made his skin crawl. His heart nearly stopped. Hey, hi. Don't know how I got here. Don't think here is a place. I'm gonna go. He backed into something that grasped at him. He broke into a mad dash. Sharp leaves and jagged branches left searing lines of pain on his face and arms, but he didn't stop. All the while, the voice followed right on his heels. You desire to be here. We can help you. We know secrets you can only dream of. Don't you want to be stronger? Connor stopped running. He almost turned around. The promise in the voice pulled at him, warring with his instinct to get as far away as he could. Unbidden thoughts of dueling filled his head, images of him on the pitch like the stars he watched on TV. Stronger? Maybe. Yes? Before he finished the sentence, he jolted awake, rolling out of bed into a tangle on the floor. His clock blinked 4:30. He scrambled back into bed, desperate to catch his breath and hoping he didn't wake up Mark. The soft snoring from the other side of the room said he was in the clear. He laid back down, trying to shake off the bad dream, but his pillowcase felt damp and clung to his cheek. He sat up and squinted in the darkness. A splotch of red marred his pillow where his face had been. He raised his fingers to his cheek and flinched when he found the scratch.
Ooh, I got chills up my spine. Ooh. Uh, I love that passage. I think if the viewers didn't know, on Twitter I've been posting excerpts of each of the story leading up to Matson Academy, and I think I used that one for one of them because it's one of my favorites. The first time in the shadow world.
It is, and so he has no idea what the heck is going on. It's his first day of school, or the night after his first day of school, so definitely kind of throws him for a loop to
Hmm.
be kind of thrust into this other world that he doesn't even know what it is, doesn't even have a name for it yet.
Yeah.
So, but definitely not a dream, or certainly not a normal one.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, what was like your inspiration for the shadow world? Like why shadow out of each element gets
Mhm.
its own separate little dimension type thing?
Well, and I'll be honest, I've toyed with the idea of the others. So there's the
Hmm.
eight elements of magic that the characters use. And the shadow world, I just like I've always liked kind of these dark, mysterious planes. You think of like the D&D, or
Hmm.
what, even Yu-Gi-Oh, right? Like uh so it's just always, I've always liked kind of those darker characters. And I always, from the beginning, I wanted Connor to kind of buck a couple of the main fantasy tropes. So, he has no destiny around him. He's got, I just said the other day, two living, loving parents.
How
um,
odd.
I know, right? And so I also thought, you always think, oh, good versus evil, light versus dark. And I said, well, what if, dark's not always so bad, right? And
Mhm.
maybe we can turn that on its head a little bit. And so Connor represents that. Shadow is, I often describe it as the element of doubt and insecurity.
Mhm.
And what's more insecure than a teenager sometimes, right?
Connor. I love Connor. He does great though.
He
You have to
does.
read the book, but he does great.
He figures it out.
He does. Like every teenager.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, all right. So that was a little passage and excerpt from the Shadow World. If you, the reader, wants to visit the Shadow World as well, be sure to grab or pre-order. You can pre-order it right now. Pre-order or grab Matson Academy, and it releases on September 5th. So you definitely want it. It's such a good book. I'm so excited. There's a paperback. It's not just an ebook. And yeah, Thank you for watching this little segment with Jay O'Keefe. Jay, do you have any last words?
No, like I said, I'm really excited to share this world with folks. I really hope people enjoy it. I hope they can, see themselves in at least one of the characters. There's a little bit of me in all of them, but it's a good, robust cast, I think, and they're a lot of fun to write, and I hope they're a lot of fun to read.
Yeah. Yeah, so grab Matson Academy September 5th. I'm going to say it so much. September 5th, September 5th. Make sure you get it. So thank you for watching, and we'll talk to you later.